Hi, I'm Tim from Tim's Garden Centre, and today I'm here to talk about a fantastic hedging plant called Goodbye Neighbours. Now come inside, I'm going to show you how fantastic this plant is. Now Goodbye Neighbours is a fantastic native plant and it's very fast growing. It can actually grow up to 2 metres a year. Now I've used Goodbye Neighbours here in my garden to give me protection from my neighbours and also to give me protection from the cold winds that blow through this valley. Now originally what I had planted here was a Camellia sasanqua hedge, but it just grew so slowly I was going to die before we actually got a hedge. So I pulled it out and I planted Goodbye Neighbours. Now Goodbye Neighbours, you need to plant them about this far apart, and they can grow up to 6 metres high, so it's up to you. All you do is prune it to the height you want it to grow. Now here in my garden I've pruned it at about 2 metres high, and that's a nice height for me on a step ladder to be able to trim the tops off it, because I can then reach it nice and safely. Now here we've got Goodbye Neighbours growing here in my garden, and you can see how nicely trimmed it is. What's so fantastic about Goodbye Neighbours is it has tiny leaves like buxus. So when you actually trim it, you can't see where it's been trimmed, and that's why it's so fantastic. Also what we found once we had the Goodbye Neighbours hedge, once it grew, and it grew very quickly, as I said it can grow up to 2 metres a year, we've noticed all these little birds came to live in our garden. The reason they came to live in our garden is that they were actually making their nests inside the hedge, because the hedge gave them protection from the bigger birds, and that's been another fantastic thing for our garden. Now that we've got the hedge, what it's enabled us to do is to turn this area, which was basically unused at the back of our house, we've turned it into a very productive area. We've got a vegetable garden here now, where we can grow lots of the vegetables to keep our family well fed. We've also got a lemon tree, a new dwarf lemon tree called Kevin the Lemon, which I'm going to talk about later on. We've got a dwarf apple tree called a ballerina apple tree. In the background there we've got a beautiful olive tree which gives us great olives at the end of summer. The tree with no leaves on it at the moment is a cherry tree. Over the background there we've got an almond tree. We've got another apple tree here, and then we've got a mandarin tree. And you can see how the kids have been pulling the mandarins off down low where they can reach the fruit, and that's a beautiful emperor mandarin tree. Now come and I'll show you how wide you can let your Goodbye Neighbours grow, because it's up to you. Now the best thing about Goodbye Neighbours is that you can chop it off at any height. Remember, it can grow up to 6 metres high, or at any width you like. Now if you've got limited space, you can actually keep it at 600 wide, no problems at all. Here in my garden I've allowed it to grow 1.2 metres wide. That's my dog sneezing in the background. And we've kept it at 1.2 metres wide, and it's a nice thick hedge, and it stops the wind from blowing in, and it certainly stops my neighbours from looking into my garden. So how do you get your hands on this fantastic plant called Goodbye Neighbours? Well, it's available through Tim's Garden Centre in Campbelltown. Now you can go to our website www.timsgardencentre.com.au, and we can organise the delivery of Goodbye Neighbours anywhere on the east coast of Australia. We fit 5 in a box and we can deliver them directly to your house.